3 months ago, I moved into an old apartment building on the outskirts of Chicago. 4 floors, narrow hallways, and lights that always seemed half dead. The landlord told me most of the units were empty, but I liked the quiet. I'm usually up late. That night, it was close to 2 a.m. when I heard a soft knock at the door. At first, I thought I imagined it until it happened again. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. I crept to the door and peered through the peephole. No one was there. I went back toward the living room, but then the knock came again, slightly louder this time. I looked again, and there he was. A man in a long black coat, wearing a wide-brimmed hat that hid his face. "Can I help you?" I asked. He didn't respond. He just stood there. After a moment, he slowly dragged his hand down the door and walked away. I figured maybe he was homeless. But the next morning, when I left for work, I saw its faint gray handprints smeared across the door. The following night, same time, same 3 knocks. This time I didn't go to the door. I just listened. After a few seconds, I heard heavy breathing right on the other side. It went on for a week. Every night, 2 a.m., 3 knocks, the same man. Last night I decided to be ready. I sat near the door with my phone in hand recording. 2 a.m., 3 knocks. I flung the door open. No one. Just a small envelope on the floor. Inside was an old, faded photograph of me, standing in front of this very door. A photo I never took. I've lived alone for the past 2 years in a small house in northern Pennsylvania. Quiet neighborhood, no crime, no drama, until last month. It was a Wednesday night, just past 11:30 p.m. I was on the couch, scrolling through my phone when my landline rang. That was strange. No one calls my landline. I answered, but all I heard was static. Then, faintly, under the static, a voice, a man's voice. He said my name. Slowly. "Daniel." I froze. "Who is this?" I asked. No answer, just a faint, wet breathing sound. Then the line went dead. I told myself it was a prank, but the next night, same time, same call. This time the voice whispered, "Dot, I'm in the hallway." I grabbed a kitchen knife and checked the house. Nothing. All the doors were locked. By the third night, I was already on edge. 11:30 p.m. The phone rang. I didn't want to answer, but I did. The voice was clearer this time. "I'm at the stairs." I hung up, heart pounding, and ran to the front door to make sure it was locked. It was, but when I turned around, I swear I saw a shadow move across the top of the staircase. I didn't sleep that night. The calls stopped for a week. I almost convinced myself it was over. Then, last night, the phone rang again. I answered. No static, no breathing. Just one sentence, in a cold, flat tone. "I'm right behind you." I moved into a small apartment in Portland last fall. The building was old but cheap, and my only neighbor on the floor was an older woman named Mrs. Gray. She was quiet, polite, and always wore the same pale blue cardigan. For the first couple of months, we'd just gnawed in the hallway. Then one night around 1 a.m., I heard knocking not at my door, but at hers. It was slow, rhythmic. I peeked through my peephole and saw a man in a dark hoodie standing at her door. He didn't move, didn't knock again, just stood there. After a few minutes, I heard her door open slightly, and she said something too soft for me to hear. The man stepped inside. The door shut. The next morning, her door was wide open. Her apartment was empty, completely. No furniture, no clothes, like no one had lived there at all. I asked the landlord about her. He looked confused. "You're mistaken," he said. "That unit's been vacant for years." I swore I had spoken to her. I'd seen her go in and out. But when I checked my phone, every text I thought I'd sent her was gone. A week later, at exactly 1 a.m., I heard the knocking again. This time, it was at my door. When I moved into my new apartment in Boston, the landlord told me the upstairs unit was empty, being renovated. It was perfect, I thought. No noisy neighbors. The first night I heard footsteps above me, slow, deliberate, crossing from one side of the ceiling to the other. I brushed it off, maybe workers were still coming in after hours. The next night, same thing. Heavy footsteps, sometimes a dragging sound, like someone pulling furniture. By the third night I was curious. I went upstairs to see if the door was open. It was locked tight, with a thick layer of dust on the doorknob like no one had touched it in years. I asked the landlord again. He swore no one had been in there since last summer. That night the sounds changed. I was lying in bed when I heard something drop right above me. Then, slow pacing, back and forth, back and forth. I couldn't sleep. Around 3 a.m., the pacing stopped. Then I heard it, a soft tapping coming from inside my bedroom ceiling. The next day, I convinced the landlord to open the upstairs unit. We walked inside. The place was empty, no furniture, no footprints, nothing. But in the middle of the floor, directly above my bedroom, was a single chair, facing a small hole in the floorboards. A hole that looked straight down into my bed. I was babysitting for my sister last month. Around midnight, the baby monitor crackled with static. Then I heard a voice. Not the baby, an adult man's voice. He whispered, "She's awake now." I ran to the nursery. The baby was sleeping soundly, but the monitor was still on. From the speaker, I heard slow, heavy breathing. And then, "You shouldn't be here.